Oh, there we are. Hello, hello, peoples. Hello, all. All right, tonight we're gonna have a simple class, breaking stuff down. There are some people out there that maybe think that we shouldn't be doing karate in our living rooms, but do you know what? We've got to do these days. We've got to do. So what I'm going to teach you is we're going to go through the finer points of Yoko geri and Ushiro geri. So Yoko is side kick and Ushiro is back kick. Whether I'm pronouncing those right, I've got no idea, but they're the Japanese names for them. So just warming our legs up. All we'll do is we'll do some light front kicks. In fact, from this position, what I want you to do is you put a leg back, any leg back you want, and just lift your knee to the side and then around. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Ruk. Notice I'm not moving this foot. Sich, hach, go, jo. Okay, change legs. Let's go the opposite way, so it's coming out and around. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rik, sich, ach, ko, jo. Okay, change legs. All right. Ushiro geri. We're just going to do it from simple. Bless me. Simple heikudechi. We're not going to wedge stance or anything. We can use Yoko geri from a frontward stance. So from this position here, up and kick. We can use from a back stance, coming around and kick to the front. We can use from a back stance, coming out and kick to the side. But for now, let's use it as nice and basic, really, really basic. So we're going to kick with our right leg first. If you do watch this, just know that I appreciate you watching, etc, etc. So from this position now, we're going to lift our right leg up, shaping our foot. Now notice that from this position, the foot is shaped, big toe is up and little toe is down. What this does is this allows us to kick with this part of the foot. This part here. We're not kicking with the whole of the outside edge. We're going to kick with this part here. Just underneath the ankle. So we lift the knee up and we bring it in front of the knee of our supporting leg. Not here, but here. So when we kick now, we're not going to use this leg for now, so we might kick a little bit lower. So what I want you to do is just come up, kick out, back in, and down. Make sure it's tucked in. Okay, nice and slow. Knee, san, shi, go. Okay, now, key part to this kick, as with a front kick and mawashi geri, so with your bei geri and your mawashi geri, the key part is the supporting foot. So with the front kick, you fire the heel towards where the kick is going. With a round kick, you do exactly the same thing. You fire the heel towards where the kick is going. Yoko geri is exactly the same. You take your supporting foot, you take your supporting leg, say from example here, and you have to fire the heel towards the direction of where the kick is going. So when you kick, nothing happens with the supporting leg for now. What you will also notice is that when we kicked without using the supporting leg, the height was very low. There wasn't a lot of height. By firing the heel, we can get a bit more height into that kick. It opens the hips up. So when we kick now, rather than allow this bottom half to come out, this is going to be the transportation. This here is just a passenger. So we're going to use this part to fire this part. on kick. Now, there's two types of kick. There's one called a kokomi and one called a kiyagi. Kokomi is a thrust. It says it in the tone of in the actual word itself. Kokomi, it sounds like a thrusty kick. Kiyagi is more snappy. So you can either do yokogeri kokomi or yokogeri kiyagi. Okay, just like you can do meigeri kokomi or meigeri kiyagi. Back kick, same thing. Certain kicks you have to do kiyagi, which is round kick, and which is also your hook kicks, and your mikazuki geris, your crescent kicks. They have to be kiyagi. You can't thrust those through. So from here, we'll do just nice and slowly, lifting the knee up and sending the leg out, but using this supporting leg to do so. Each. Now I'm not looking where I'm kicking, you should be looking to where you're kicking. I'm just checking to make sure I'm doing it properly. You can also do the same, but as the leg comes up and as the guard comes up, the head should turn. Everything should happen together. So from a neutral position, we should be here. Into guard position, looking where we're kicking. Okay, you can't hit a target you can't see. Okay, ish. Notice we're pivoting this foot now. Knee. San. Shi. Now, a couple of things to get out of the habit of doing. When you're doing your yokogeri in haikadachi, in a class for example, stand neutral. Don't stand with your guard ready. Stand neutral. And the other thing to avoid, completely avoid, is, and I've since been taught, is watch my left hand. Get out of that. Unless, of course, your left hand is grabbing something and pulling them onto your kick, get out of the habit of doing that. If you were grabbing something, you'd be grabbing with the kicking arm. So I'll be grabbing with this one. So I'm going to pull in with anyone. It's going to be this, not this. All right? It's not one of those that, you know, they don't need to work together. Keep your guard in position. A few more this side. Ich. Ni. San. Okay, now I'm going to go the other side. So think about the points that we've just done. Think about the points we just explained to you. I'll move over this way so you can see a bit more of the kick. So we're going to bring up. Nothing with this leg just for now. Just kick. Notice how high your kick goes. And notice that it's coming out, but it's coming back into the knee. And again, I'm sorry if I'm looking to the left. That's where the main picture is. The camera's there, but the main picture's there. Okay? So, lift the knee up. Kick out. Notice how high the foot is. And then back in. Each. Knee. San. Now we're going to use the supporting leg. So as we lift, we're going to throw the heel so that we can execute the kick. Okay? Easy peasy. It's quite an easy kick, really. Ish. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Okay, relax. Relax. You have to forgive me. My hips aren't great this week. They're not great whatsoever. Hips and back and knees have gone a little bit, so I'm just taking it a little bit easier. But we're only doing Kion anyway, we're only breaking things down. So, like I said in my last video, the best way to practice karate is slowly. Right, if you want to get height to this kick, work on your flexibility. This kick would be designed to kick towards vulnerable areas. Stomach, not so vulnerable. Knees, more vulnerable. So we could do what's called konsetsugeri, which is up and down. We bring the kick up, but then we kick down. But there would still be this execution here for the hip. All right, you'll see that in Kata Saifa. That'll be where you'll do your first konsetsugeri in Kata Saifa. Okay. Another way you can do this kick is you can do it from a fighting position, or we can come forwards with this. Now when we do this, we don't move this foot first. We use the momentum of the back leg, the kicking leg coming up, to twist our supporting foot. So it's not this first, then the rest second, and it's not this first, then the rest second. It's all going to happen, so it's going to be knees coming up, 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 kick. So I'll finish facing, my foot's going to face behind me to the left. So from here as we come up, foot faces behind me to the left. Okay, so that's another way you can do this. You can kick. I'm using my right leg, it's probably my better leg, but just for demonstration purposes. So you can also kick from here. Now your back foot's already halfway there, so you don't have to do too much with that. You can prepare this way and then execute that heel at the end of the kick. One other thing to remember with side kick before I grab a quick drink, so I'm getting a bit dry, is don't lean. All right, with any kick, the more you lean away from the direction of the kick, the more power is going to be drawn away from the kick itself. So I want to send power out to my right hand side. If I lean to my left, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if I'm sending power this direction, but I'm leaning that direction, I'm going to go more this way. You know, it's between 17 and 18 stone inside the kick. I want to send it that direction. Same as a round kick. I don't want to lean away from it for the sake of getting height. So when you're kicking, try to maintain as much upper body, uprightness, if that's even a word, as you possibly can. So avoid this with the kick. Try and keep that body as upright as you possibly can. You're going to lean slightly, but not to the point of being this. All right, so just be aware of that when you're kicking. And that goes for front kick as well. Something I didn't mention on front kick and round kick was avoid this. On the round kick, avoid this. You want to send the power in the direction of the kick. Okay, 2 seconds break. Grab a quick drink. Talking makes you dry. Okay, next kick. Ushiro geri. Back kick. There's different ways of doing this. I'll show you the way that beginners are taught, and I'll show you the way that, well, I'd say more advanced students will perform this kick. So again, we're just going to do it from a heikidetsu position. No airs and graces on this, no stance needed. You know, this kick here is always good with a step. You can generate power if you put a step into this. You can do spinning back kicks. So yeah, you can kick from the front leg with this kick. You can, if you want, put a step into this kick. So yeah, there's different ways you can do this kick. But I'll let you play around with it. Maybe get back to me on some of the videos that you might have done yourself. Inbox me those videos. Ushiro geri back kick. Guard's going to be to the front. You will be taught, to begin with, lift your knee up. So bring the ankle in front of your supporting leg. You'll be taught this way to begin with. Parallel to the floor, shaping the foot, so from there, pull the toes back, pull the heel back. Then all we're going to do from this position is slight hip turn and kick straight back. It's fairly simple. Now you saw the retraction of the kick. That's more of a different way of doing it. So from here, the beginner's way is lift, guard up to the front, whichever leg you're kicking with, you want to be looking over that shoulder. So don't kick with the right and look over the left. So you lift, kick, back in and down. That's the beginner's way of doing this. You saw how high the kick went. think I mentioned this on other videos before. So from this position here, the kick goes out when it finishes about the same height as the sofa. Same height as the top of the sofa. Okay? The quicker way to do this kick is here. So you lift the heel up first, and then, oh look, it went as high as the sofa, same as the last kick. Okay, so the body mechanics of it says that you don't have to take energy forwards in order for you to transfer it backwards. You know, you will probably get a faster, more powerful kick if you just go from where you are and kick out. And again, try to avoid being flat at this point. Try and keep the body as upright as you possibly can. So we'll do a few of those now. Whichever way you want to do it is entirely up to you. So make sure you look over the correct shoulder. I'm going to use this leg just to give this one a break. Okay, ich, ni, san. One other thing you might get taught, and this is how I was taught as a yellow belt. It's quite funny really. And again, it comes back to the guard. When you're kicking, I was taught to throw the kick out, but push the guard forwards. What that does is that allows the hip to go forwards. I don't want the hip to go forwards. Again, for every action is an equal and opposite reaction. So when I'm kicking, I don't want my kick going this direction, but my hip going this direction. I want everything to go behind me, if that makes sense. That means a slight hip turn. Now, if you turn too much, it turns into a bad side kick. So don't turn too much. If we're 90 degrees, if we're square now, we're probably going to go about 22.5, 30 degrees with the hips, if you want to get pedantic. Okay, ni, san, shi, go. Okay, other side, ruk, sich, ach, go, ju. Okay, they're the last two kicks that we would teach in Kihon. So from a basic point of view, they're the last two kicks you would learn. There are other kicks, but I kind of wait until people are a bit more savvy with the karate before we start introducing them. You know, you got your crescent kick, you got your konsetsu kick, you got your spinning hook kick, your spinning back kick. There's all sorts of different kicks you can use. The most predominant kick you will use in karate kumite will be front, and if you're lucky, round, if you're quick enough. Okay? People that can be that quick, they use hook kicks. Boom. When you get to a little bit older in the tooth, a little bit of timber around the middle, you've got to use the simple kicks. All right? The front kick's the most effective, I would say. It's the quickest, it's a straight line. Anyone can do it. You don't have to kick high. You can kick different levels. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Whenever you learning front kick, if you go to any self-defense seminars or anything and they teach you to kick in the groin this way, don't do it. Always knee up first. Now, the one thing about teaching via video, just a quick chat and then we'll go into some cipher. Just some easy some points to refine in cipher. Whenever you're learning from a video, or whenever, and this is a word to teachers that are out there teaching from videos, whatever you say and do, you must perform as well. So it's no good teaching one thing, showing that thing, but then expecting something else, if that makes sense. So if, for example, I said stomach level punch, and I said I want you to keep the elbows in, and then twist at the end, that's what I am saying and doing, But what I'm actually going to expect is a little bit of this, if that makes sense, okay? So whenever you're communicating to students or to yourself even, whatever you're going to communicate and show must be what you expect from students. So you can't say to somebody, we're going to go knuckle strike here, but really your hand shape totally different. You can't do that, because that's you saying and doing one thing but expecting something else. Okay? That's just basic teacher stuff. For anybody out there listening that, you know, might think that training living room's not great. Alright, Kata Saifa. Kata Saifa. Now, tonight we're only going to go through, so it's going to be a short class. Tonight we're going to go through the first couple of steps, and I'm going to break them down for you. So there's some key points to refine these things, okay? Saifa is all about Tai Sabaki. Whereas in first and second kata, you are attacking. You're attacking. You're moving into the technique. Whereas Saifa teaches Tai Sabaki, which is just upgrading your position. So if the technique is coming towards me, I want to upgrade my position by getting out of the way of that technique, okay? The train's coming forwards, I'm going to get off the tracks. So there's a lot of sidestepping in Saifa. There's a lot of coming around and moving off to the side. All right. So basically, there's a line of attack. We're just getting off that line of attack. All right. So first move. Now, forget the arms. All we're going to do is we're going to step forwards with our right leg. So right leg's first. Now we're going to step out to the right, but maintain the hips forwards. So we're stepping this direction. Now you'll notice that my back heels come off the floor a little bit. Right foot still pointing forwards, left foot still pointing forwards, hips still pointing forwards. Now, knees are bent. My right foot, I'm going to use this to drag in my left foot. So it's not going to be step and turn. What's going to happen is as we step, I'll do this a little bit shorter so you can see the footwork. As we step, we're going to fire this heel out, which like we have been doing with our kicks, and allow this to be the reason that the other foot drags in, okay? So you don't have to go full 2 shoulder widths. You want to be stepping out. Your goal here is to step out 2 shoulder widths at least, forwards, because you're going to go out 2 shoulder widths and you're going to drop back 2 shoulder widths, all right? So when you're stepping out for this, just make sure that you allow both feet to point in the same direction and that your hips remain in that same direction as well. And make this the reason that the other foot drags in, okay? So just a couple of those to begin with. People might think that training basics, Ki-on, Kata is a waste of time, but in order to get the realism, you have to know your Ki-on first. So from this position, step, and notice the body's moved off. Use this, fire the heel, dragging the other foot. The hips should move, the hips should snap when you're doing this. So we'll do one more. So I'm going to step out. If I just let the arms hang, what should happen is, if you're not using the hips, that happens with the arms, nothing. If you're using the hips, what should happen is, they should just fly. A bit like when you're doing your punches. If you're not using hips, this happens. If you are using hips, this happens. So you know when you're using your hips. Okay, so we're going to step out and use the hands now. Whichever leg moves, the hands are going to come to that hip. So we're going to move our right leg first. Hands are going to come to the right hip. Forgive the open fingers. And then from this position, as we fire this one and drag this one in, the hands are going to come across. And notice there's a twist there. So this hand has gone from palm facing us to palm down. Avoid coming away from the body. You want everything to be in, nice and tight. So as you drag in, attacker's in front, we need to keep our eye on our attacker. What we've basically done is the most basic version of this, and there are advanced versions, but like I say, I like to save those for class. So the realism side of things I like to save for my students. I don't want to put it out there on the internet. It's kind of the privilege of training with me, I suppose. No, I ain't got a bob. So from this position, there was a few bobs once, but yeah, they disowned me after they couldn't beat me. So from this position, I forgot what I'm saying now. Imagine somebody's grabbing your right wrist with whichever hand they want to. So let's just go with right wrist, they're grabbing you with their left hand. So they're grabbing here. We're stepping into this. So we're not trying to pull them off balance. We are taking it from here. If you want to realism this, somebody's grabbing and we are stepping in. Now I step towards the fist, not bring the fist towards me. And then as we drag up, we pull across and break the grip. And then whatever's next. So with the hands now, just the first step. Each. Knee. Kind of a slow movement into a fast movement. Now once you dragged across and you're in this position, don't do this because it's stupid. It's alright, I don't swear on my videos. So from here, as we come up, just to here, clip the elbow with the teisho. From here, come up and around. Clipping the elbow. Letting the elbow release. Back fist, come back. Some styles will have you, watch my right hand, will have you do this. There's nothing there. I would like it to come all the way out and come all the way back. And if you're doing this slowly, you'll notice there's a wrap at the end and you come back in. Your goal here is fingernails same height as the mouth. You'll see this in a lot of kata. And this here, parallel with the shin. Okay, so I'll do this on the side so you can see. So we step out, just as you have been. Now we're going to step back with our left leg into shkodach. So we'll go back. As we do that, this happens as we're breaking this down. So that all happens together. That happens afterwards. The goal here is to have those last four things happen together. So when I say four things, what I mean is 1, 2, 3, 4, all finish at the same time. But until that happens, break it down in 2. So you come across, break it down into 1, 2. Until we can go from where we are and to make it all 1. Okay, from there, all we're going to do is repeat move number 1, but just on the opposite side. And again, important with the hips. So when we step out now, we're on our square. I'll go towards the camera. Don't turn the hips as you step. When you step out, again I'm going to have to shorten this. When you step out, still step forwards. Sorry, I don't want to be here. Forwards. And then use this supporting leg to drag up that back foot. And again, whichever leg moves, that's the hip the hands come to. So after we've been to here, I'm a bit more upright because of space. When the hands come to there, as the leg moves, we come in. We're bringing the hip to the hands. So my right hand right now is level with the edge of those curtains. I'm not going to bring, I'll do it this way so you can see, I'm not going to bring the hand to the hip. What I want to do is I want to bring the hip to the hand, if that makes sense. I think it made sense. Yes, it made sense, apparently. So, as we step out now, we're going to step out, bring the hips to the hands, and then we're going to pull across to our right hand side. Then we're going to step our right leg back. Now remember, when we step back, we need to have this and this finished together for beginners to begin with, until you can make it all roll as one. So until it can be here, here, then have it just break it down to two. Key element is having the hands and feet move together. 1, 2. So you're having two parts of the body moving at the same time, or 3 or 4 parts of the body moving at the same time, all together in sync. Now, move number 3, the third stage to this is exactly the same as the first. But your hips are already facing this direction, so all you've got to do is bring them 90 degrees when you step, and then to repeat move number 1. And then move number 2, and then 3. Okay? That's the basic start of Saifa. Keys are keeping the hips and feet square until you're ready to execute them, using your heel to maneuver another foot. So for example, as we're stepping out here, use this heel to drag the other leg in. So just understanding which part of the body is the passenger and which part of the body is the transportation. Okay? So in a lot of karate moves, you will see different parts of the body move. Now, one part of the body is going to be the passenger, one part of the body is going to be the transport. Okay? So as you move into with this is the transport. This is the part that's going to get this level with it. If I do nothing with this, I end up here. And it looks a bit sloppy. If I do this, it's just a little bit snappier. So transport and passenger. With a punch, what's the transport, what's the passenger? Passenger is this, the punch itself. The transport is the pull. Transport is also the hips. They allow this to happen. So just ask yourself this question whenever you're going through your kata, whenever you're going through your kyo, whenever you're going through your kumite. Which part is the passenger, which part is the transport? That's all I want to give you this evening. Fairly simple stuff. You can make it as real as you want, but just understand that, and again, I'll say this for you teachers out there, if you're doing videos, and I don't care who you are, if you're doing videos, I've said this before already tonight, but I'll say it one more time. If you're doing videos, don't demonstrate and say one thing, but then expect something else from a student. All right? You can't say, right, I want you to punch with a bent wrist. All right, you know, or you're saying, right, okay, this is how the punch goes. And you've got this bent wrist. So I'm saying one thing, this is how the punch goes. I'm demonstrating another thing, but I'm expecting this from you. If that makes sense. So teachers, whatever you say, whatever you demonstrate must be what you expect a student to have. So just, if you're teaching from a video, make sure you're teaching it properly, as in, you're showing them how to do it properly. No matter how tough you are, all right, being tough doesn't educate people. Education educates people. Okay? So, that's all I can teach for now. Might not be as real as somebody wanted, but that's all. Well, that's all I can. That's all I can teach for now. Think about the passenger and the transport. Think about the preparation. Think about the heel moving. That will open the hips. When you're doing Saifa, elbows in nice and tight. Everything in nice and tight. Twisting. This doesn't come all the way out. This just comes up and across. All right, that was a bit sloppy, but that's basically it. All right. If you want to get rid of the pedantic with that, it would come this way. here would be the cleaner version, because this line here matches this line here. And then we'll come up and out. Okay, and make sure you're stepping off line. Don't do your cipher. I learned cipher stepping on the line of attack. I don't like that way, I never did. It didn't make much sense to me, so not when cipher's meant to teach you Kata Saifa, it's meant to teach you sidestepping, upgrading your position. Train's coming forwards, get off the tracks. Alright, that's it for now. So you've had Yokogeri, which is side kick, you've had Ushirigeri, which is back kick, and we've had the first 6 counts of cipher. There are 14 more counts to go. So tune in next week for some more of cipher. If there's anything you want to see, anything you question, feel free to put it in the comments, feel free to inbox me. Other than that, I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll say sayonara.